ones we just do? The mystery adventure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Board Game Geek gave it a little bit higher rating than this one.
Really?
But the average rating by players gave this one a higher rating. Which is interesting. They gave the Tone of Paul's Treasure, like, because there's ones with just that. They gave that one actually a fairly low.
Just trying to get this sent out to Facebook. All right. Ready? Welcome to the Ball and Chain podcast. This is episode 241. I am Mox Born Again. I have with me, as always, it's my angel.
Hello.
Hey, hey, hey. So we are here. This podcast is all about talking about video games, board games, comics, movies, TV shows, all the fun stuff that we enjoy. And we just kind of have a nice little conversation and, invite you guys in and have a good time. Sit back. I don't have a drink, unfortunately. But we'll have some fun. We don't have a very long show. We've got a huge news topic to talk about. But other than that, there's really not too much going on as far as this show is concerned. But we will be talking about what we've been playing. I've got my Game Pass game of the week. That series starts today. And we got some gaming news, and then we are going to wrap it up. So before we get into all that, let's. What have you been up to the past 7 days?
Not at school too much.
Right.
So Monday, obviously we were off because of Martin Luther King Day. We went back and then had some. COVID is running rampant around the country right now, obviously, and
Around the world.
Yeah, and so we had a couple days closure and go back in for a day tomorrow. So it's been kind of a really weird week. We had a nice day yesterday, so we got to go out for a hike. A muddy, crazy hike.
Oh, God.
Trail was really poorly marked. We ended up, I think, mostly walking the horse trail, which was, if you walk behind horses, they sink into the mud and
They tear up the whole thing.
right. So it's a lumpy, muddy mess of a trail to try to walk. And when you've got a baby crying in a backpack and a 5-year-old whose legs are tired, it's just not a lot of fun. Not to mention how much mud and ice and whatnot was out.
Well, we went the trail wasn't marked very well, but I screwed up because I didn't start the app that I use, the All Trails app, right away and usually what I use that for is to get us to the trailhead, and we went to the wrong trailhead. That's like where the parking lot is like a hub of like the various like tentacles of this trail, and we totally went on like a hiking trail, but
not the one that you anticipated going.
Right, exactly. This one, I don't know how long it was. I mean, it probably was long, like huge, because it was going alongside of a like I said, a horse trail. So I'm sure it was. We'll have to look it up and see which one, because that was letter H. But
yeah, I don't know. So
we started at the wrong end, so
yeah. So we did, got to get out and do that yesterday. Went out and got a haircut, which I probably wouldn't have done if I was in school. So did you.
Me too.
Got to use some Christmas gift card Kohl's.
Me too. Well, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah. I did not get around to laundry and cleaning and things that I needed to do.
Me and Ever can do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
I don't know how much folding is going to get done, but we can definitely move the laundry along. He's notorious for taking piles of nicely neat folded clothes and just knocking them off. He's part cat, our 1-year-old. So, okay.
That's kind of my week.
Cool. So on, what do we do for Friday? Is it Friday that we capped everything up for the
Oh no, because it was after we went. It was a Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
We went to.
That's right. Today today's Thursday.
Yeah.
God, my days are all mixed up.
Yeah,
With
we
you
went
guys
up
being
to-
home,
I know. It's throwing me off too.
it's screwing me up.
So we went to your parents' house.
Yes,
for Christmas.
right. So we finally like we talked about last week. We had our final Christmas of the year with the Dotsons up in northern Ohio. We had our Secret Santa and all that. It was lots of fun. The kids enjoyed it. They got some more presents and stuff like that, and the popcorn was a big hit. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting them to say, "Oh, thank you," them to be nice and say thank you and all that. But on the way home, they wanted it. They had a friend come over for a movie night, and they wanted that popcorn. They didn't want the store-bought popcorn. So they were really excited about that. So had fun there. Got a new board game. Oh no.
What?
Where is it? I
don't know. It's not sitting on the rest of the.
Where did it go?
It's around here.
No, seriously, where did it go?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we got a new board game.
Which we have a stack over there that we haven't touched still.
Seriously, where the heck did it go? Anyway, well, we got a new board game. We got Rexon. My dad got me Rexon. He had me for the Secret Santa. So it's if you're not familiar, the Dead of Winter series of board games.
Oh, I think I see it underneath outfoxed over there.
Okay. If you're not familiar with it, Dead of Winter is another board game, and it's kind of like a survival game where you're trying to, cooperatively accomplish a single goal for everybody. Then you've got these secret goals, and sometimes you're the betrayer and stuff like that. Well, anyway, they released a second expansion to it, and it introduced a pharmaceutical company that's doing testing and things or I don't know if it's all pharmaceuticals. I'm not sure. I think it's more than that. But anyway, they're doing testing on zombies and humans, and it kind of expands the actual world of Dead of Winter. Well, this game isn't compatible. It's a completely standalone game, but it's called Raxon. So I believe you are trying to stop an outbreak from happening, and you're trying to find the host or the patient zero, essentially. It looks like a lot of fun. I've always wanted to play it. It released, I don't know, 5 years ago or something ridiculous like that. But I was always excited to play it. I always am interested in these one-off kind of side story video games and board games and things like that. And even if it's not an exact replica of gameplay wise, this does not have standees. This is a card game at heart. So. I think it's more of a deduction game, not a social one, but just trying to find kind of Outfoxed for the kids. This is the adult version. So we did that, and then we came home and we bottled our cider, our 5-gallon carboy of apple cider, and then our 1-gallon was it a pale ale? Mm-hmm. Yeah, pale ale. So we got 25 bottles of the cider.
Yeah, we realized we needed a longer racking cane.
Yeah, and so it was already 9:00 at night, and this was before we knew that you were going to have the next 2 days off, or the following, or
a couple days.
Yeah, a couple days off.
Later down the road.
Yeah, otherwise we would have waited. But I was like, well, when is the next time that we're going to have time together? Because it's a 2-person process, at least for our first time. We might be able to do it solo. Not that we have like the pumping thing. Yeah, so we got 52. We got 25, well, dyslexic, 25 bottles of cider bottled, and then we got 9 bottles of the pale ale. So
that was a 1 gallon kit. So.
Yeah, that was just a 1 gallon carboy. So I got everything cleaned up, and the alcohol is now tucked away in the closet in the dark and getting bubbly. We put a couple of little sugar drops. That's the dogs. Put a couple of sugar drops in each of the bottles, so that'll give us some carbonation here in the next couple weeks. So 2 weeks and counting.
And you started getting supplies for your next
batch. I did. So today, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but anyway, so today we went to the brews. We went to the was a BB homebrew
HBYOB. Homebrew your own beer.
Yeah. Because it's like BYOB, but with an H in front of it. HBYOB. I love that place. Like, it's really nice in there. Have you been in there before today? Okay. Well, you'll have to go. Like, we have to go like when we don't have the kids. We're gonna actually like walk around and look at the things because there's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
It's small, but they have it tightly packed.
Oh yeah, it's like floor to ceiling stuff, and then they've got a couple. Center racks, but yeah, so we picked up a siphon, like an auto siphon, so we no longer have to like do the weird thing with the hose and water and all that. We just so I'm kind of excited to use that. We'll be able to use the full 5 gallon carboy,
right.
So we won't be wasting. I don't think we should use what's in there. Have you looked at it? It doesn't look good. So we tried to recap it after we got as much out as we could with the equipment we had, but I don't think it doesn't look good. It looks like urine.
I mean, it's cider generally.
But it looks a lot like urine. Like all like the solid stuff has come down to the bottom, and it's just like I don't think anybody wants to drink that. So I'm excited to start something new. We got some different yeasts and flavors. We got you got strawberry flavoring. So I guess we'll be doing some type of
strawberry apple cider.
Strawberry apple cider. I don't know. So we'll see. But they had a whole bunch of really cool things like they had cinnamon sticks that you can drop into the carboy and stuff like that. Oh God, I don't know.
I think there's like a sweet orange peel, which probably would be good for more like if you're doing some kind of a pilsner, like what is that beer? Like Shock Top does the lemon, or they have the orange.
Right.
Something like that would be probably more what you use that for. But you could probably use it in a cider too. But they had a lot of different.
Yeah, so they had a lot of different ones. So I'm excited to. I'm trying to. Do you think we should go ahead and start another batch, or should we just say, well, let's wait and see what this one's.
I mean, you're gonna want to try another one anyway, right? Even
yeah.
This isn't so great.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
There you go. Sorry.
You're like what? Let's try to sing the Beyonce song. Should I put a ring on?
I got a ring on.
All right.
And then yesterday went down to Micro Center with my brother and Sawyer and Everett, and I used my Christmas money from my parents to buy a 3D printer. And man, is it awesome. It is so cool.
You've made a puppy and a kitty.
I made a puppy and a kitty. About that big.
All right.
The kitty's already been painted by Eli. He was on it to paint that thing. I don't know where they were when I looked for them to bring them here, but
they were on the kitchen dining table.
They were, but they're not there anymore. So I'm assuming Eli took them back to his room.
Oh, that could be. He mentioned that he really enjoys painting things like that.
So I showed him a video of some guy that makes miniatures with this printer or whatever, and he's like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" He's so like if I could just find some free plans of like miniatures or whatever, he'd be set for life. just
sit there and
just print them out. But yeah, so we got the Ender 3 Pro, and yeah, it's just Sawyer picked out some filament. The only green filament that they had there from the what are we using? PLA Plus or something? I think it's PLA Plus. So that's kind of like the beginner stuff, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited. I don't know really where to begin. Like, we printed out it comes with like 3 default things you can print: a pig, a dog, and a cat. The the dog took 3 hours to print. Little figure about 2 or 3 inches big. The cat's about 4 or 5 inches. He took about 6 hours to print. And that was like, I didn't mess with any of the settings or anything like that. Literally just hit file, print, and it's pretty cool. Have you seen it actually printing? You saw it printing this morning, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. So I've got some things up in my mind. I would really my grandmaster plan, like the final boss of this thing would be to create a board game, and maybe not with this printer necessarily print the miniatures for it, but to create a board game or some type of board gaming system and create stuff like that. Like, if I could retire and do that, like, some people do woodworking, some people, paint models, some people put, ships in bottles. I will make board games.
Okay.
We'll see how that works. We'll see if my eyesight goes away or if I get like real shaky or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, what's up? Are you cold?
My toes are cold. Yeah. I should put socks on.
Do I need to go get you socks?
Can I go get them?
Go get socks.
Thank you. You can carry on.
I will carry on. I will talk about Diablo.
My pajama pants.
Oh, God.
So I'll walk in front of the camera.
You do have pajama pants on, right? Oh, okay. Those are mine.
I know.
Hey! All right, so what we've been playing this week, Diablo 2 Remastered, and holy cow, like, I put about another hour into it last night, and it's just a lot of fun. I need to find more time for it. It's one of those games where you can sit down and literally play for an hour and get so much accomplished. I was able to level up to level 29 and about to level up to level 30. But just, grinding away, picking, going through. We just finished killing Diablo, and now we're working on Baal, and that chapter 6, I think, is Baal. I don't know. So working on that, had a lot of fun doing that. We also played. I will kind of talk about it here, and Amanda can kind of carry on. We also played this new unlocked, the last set, or the last chapter, or whatever story, this unlocked one, what was it called? The Tony Pale's Treasure. So we played that one to kind of close out the set, and it's, I don't know, it's really... The nice thing about these unlocked sets, and we've talked about this at length before, but the nice thing about these unlocked sets is everything's contained within the cards, and there's not a lot of like dexterity. There's not a lot of room for error. Like, either you see it or you don't, and there isn't a lot of like, oh well, if you shift this card slightly this way, then it appears. It's usually there, it's not there. And that's what I really enjoy about it, is there isn't a lot of room for error. If you don't get... I started talking about this, and you can kind of chime in here too. So, if, like I was saying, like, there isn't a lot of room for error in the most of these ones. Yeah. Sure, go for it. You're up, go for it. And... some of them have like twist the cards ever so slightly or whatever, and that's very few and far between. I feel like most of them are like, you either see it or you don't. Like, it's not, there's hardly any in between stuff in there.
Yeah.
But this one I felt like was a little bit more rocky than any of the other ones we've done in this series.
The pirate one?
The pirate one.
Yeah. It was labeled as a more difficult one. Because they do have difficulty like ratings on there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. I still enjoy, like, I enjoy them. That one was a lot more frustrating, and I think towards the end we were just kind of.
Well, there was one puzzle in particular where we were like, I have no clue what this is. We have no idea, and you would take a hint, like, okay, that still doesn't help us much, or we knew that. Take another hint. Okay, what's the solution? It gives you a solution. You're like, how did you come up with that? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And then,
and, like, the one that had the numbers that I still can't figure it out because
it was a sugar cane thing,
like,
right?
Right. The numbers look like they should be backwards. So the solution had the numbers opposite of what the card was reading.
Right. It almost seemed like there was an error in the system.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so it definitely was kind of a downer. This one had the shipwreck one, and that one I really enjoyed because there was an aspect of it where if you found the canisters of oxygen throughout the story, you gained more time.
Right, you only started with like 30 minutes or something.
Right, exactly. And the whole thing takes place underwater, in some places submerged underwater, right. And having that extra tank of air is just really thematical. I mean, I really enjoyed that. The house one I enjoyed as well. That one was a good one too.
We did that one with your parents.
Yeah, so that was
seemed to like it.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that this and I'm wondering if it's a difficulty thing. Like when we talk about this, we'll kind of go from there. But I'm wondering if the more difficult ones have like those more dexterous ones, puzzles and things like that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that when we go into future ones. So that's the second one that we've completed of 3. Did you want to talk any more about it?
No.
Okay. What? Okay, so we talked about that. What else have you been playing? Came to bed the other night and I couldn't believe my eyes what I saw on the television. You're playing Unpacked.
Oh. Yeah, I did a little bit of that.
I can't believe you're still playing that. I'm shocked. I guess it's a very calm, soothing game.
I mean, so on my phone I usually play Redecor, I guess it's called. And it's just a house, and you have different, like, you unlock different patterns of fabric and paint and whatnot, and you decorate. So it's
kind of fills that role.
Different, right? I mean, it's kind of similar to that in a way. And I'm kind of interested to find out, like, what her rest of her story is.
Isn't that interesting that this, like, puzzle game has got you hooked to, like, you know what was happening? You don't know who this person is. You don't know. The only thing you know about her is what she buys and where she goes and.
Right.
Or through all of the stuff that she owns, because basically all you're doing is when she goes to a new residence, you're unpacking her moving boxes. So you only know her through her physical items, not through her.
Right.
And it's interesting that you're like, I wonder what happens to her. Like this.
Well, and now it's like I finished one house and I'm still in that house, but more things came in. So it's like, oh, that's interesting. What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. Because of the previous level, you had.
It said feels more homey now or more cozy now or something. And then now I'm in a huge house with lots of rooms and upstairs and downstairs and baby rooms and.
Those baby rooms, huh?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Because when I last saw you playing it, you just finished the one unpacking. That level finished, and you went to the next level, which was the exact same house. Still had all your stuff in the exact same spot, but now you have like these blue boxes. It's like someone's moving in.
Yeah.
So, cool. Playing anything else? No.
Not really. Besides phone games like Homescapes, and which is basically Bejeweled, but you get to decorate a house too. Apparently, I like to decorate houses.
Should have been an interior designer. Maybe. So that brings us to Joe's Game Pass Game of the Week. So every week, going forward, until I stop, I'm going to be playing a new game on Game Pass. And just kind of weed through some of the games, and I'm trying to stay away from like the Halo Infinites and the big like AAA current gen games or whatever, and trying going and playing some of the the more arcadey style games. We talked about a couple of them last week, so if you're interested in some of the ones that Kotaku recommended, we played 3 in particular. Go back and watch last week's episode, 204 240. Kind of get some insight on those games. But this week I played Battletoads. And I've got a lot to say because the original game Battletoads, has probably about 80% of my childhood screen time. Like, I would say 80%. With like a close second being like Mario 3 and some various Atari games. But Battletoads holds a very special place in my heart. And so for this like review / preview, whatever you want to call this, I'm going to look at this game from two different aspects. I'm going to look at its gameplay. And I apologize I didn't record any like I said I was going to, but I didn't. I should get better at doing that. And then we're also going to look, and I also want to look at it from like a nostalgia standpoint because I want to divorce myself from that and still give the game a good shake. So let's talk about like the game aspect of it. Like let's kind of put the nostalgia away for just a minute and just talk about the game. It's a really cool side-scrolling game. I kind of that action adventure, kind of Castle Crashers-esque. You unlock different abilities or different moves, rather, kind of like you do in Castle Crashers. These are the moves that you unlock are really targeted towards a specific enemy or type of enemy. So when you're playing and you come up to one of these enemies, a little pop-up window tells you how to defeat this enemy, which is kind of, it's kind of weird, right? It's like, hey, look, this guy's blocking constantly, so you should press X and A to do a melee attack like that's built up or whatever. And it seems kind of hand-holdy and very weird. And the fact that you only use that move for that one guy, like there's no other way to interact with this one guy. It just seems very like, hey, do this kind of. I don't know. I didn't really care for that aspect of it, but the fact that you're unlocking these different moves, and I should preface this with, I probably played a little over 2 hours, got through the first 3 levels, and kind of had to see everything that they offered to my knowledge. I do not like the artistic design, like the character design, the graphic design of the whole thing. I don't care for it at all. That was probably one of the least favorite things. Yeah, probably the least favorite thing, followed closely by the interactions between the 3 Toads. They kind of the cutscenes seem like a Nickelodeon type of cartoon, kind of like the Fairly Odd Parents, like that very cartoony color scheme and like character design and things like that. So I didn't care for it. In at least from a like, not even looking at it like a nostalgia, like, hey, that's not how they looked in the original. That's not how they were speaking in the original. So just looking at it from a new game perspective, I didn't really care for the art style of it. Gameplay wise, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely challenging, kind of like the original, which is nice to see. There's some like little tidbits of nostalgia in there with like the animations and things like that. So like in the original, when you would do like one of the power punches or power kicks or whatever, the final animation of your Toad like punching the bad guy, his fist would just be massive, right? Like, bigger than any other, body part, like it's the size of your body. And the dude would just go flying across the screen, or if you did like a kick finishing move or whatever, it would just be like his foot would just turn into a giant boot. And, so they had a little bit of that sprinkled in there. But no, from what I gathered, what I played through, the enemies looked very different, which seems kind of odd. The Battletoads that I remembered would have been more of like I don't want to say like an adult themed game, but like it felt like I was playing something like, as a kid, playing something above my age level, whereas playing this was like, wow, this just feels like I'm playing a Saturday morning cartoon, like something aimed towards like 6-year-olds or whatever. But so yeah, overall, like kind of like a next generation Castle Crashers, because you can play 3 people at a time or whatever, which is nice. Playing solo is nice because if your one toad dies, you get it automatically brings in the next one, so you have like 3 lives, kind of, so to speak. So that's cool. From a nostalgia standpoint, if you are, you know, part of like the original like Battletoads like fandom, don't play this. It will make you want to tear your eyes out. Like it's there is very little callbacks to the game, and there's not. It doesn't look like the original. Like, and I know obviously going from a Nintendo or a Nintendo Entertainment System to an Xbox One, there's going to be some graphical increase there, but like there's ways to make callbacks to that, and they pretty much slap Battletoads on like a Castle Crashers remake, I think, and it just doesn't feel right. They did, however, put in a biking level, which is very reminiscent of the original one, just as controller throwing difficult as the original, but for different reasons. This level, you're, instead of going left to right, you're going like forward or whatever, like, so everything, you're going down like it's a straight path, and you're dodging, just like in the original, you're dodging these, you know, walls, half walls or quarter walls or whatever, jumping over things, and, you know, hitting, you weren't hitting ramps, you were just jumping over whole like pits and stuff like that. But the frustrating about this is when a wall would come down into your field of view, it would block everything that was in front of you, so you couldn't see what was coming next. In the original, you were going from left to right, and one wall would come at you and the other one would start flashing, so you knew, hey, after I pass this wall in 0.2 seconds, I need to start shifting up. So you could see like one wall ahead, whereas with this one, sometimes you don't, unless it's like a wall on the right to a wall on the left, you're not really getting that information, and that could be kind of frustrating because it's pretty much out of your control. But yeah, not to mention that level in the original was very iconic, very, very iconic. So if you like side scroller beat 'em up games, this is definitely worth the look. It was a lot of fun. Prepare to mute the TV because the cutscenes are a little obnoxious. But if you're a Battletoads fan, I would skip this one. So that is Battletoads. Let's see here. All right. So you good? Oh, okay. So the one news topic that I wanted to talk about this week was Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. The deal is not set to go through until next January of 2023, but they already have like kind of everything set up, and like they're just waiting for like the various approvals or whatever, I guess. Yeah, this is pretty big for them. I mean, last year they acquired ZeniMax Studios, which is the publisher that owns oh god, I'm blanking. What's the team that makes Oblivion? Bethesda and Fallout and all those games. And now they're looking at getting Activision Blizzard, which is going to have, of course, your World of Warcrafts, your Call of Duty, some other games like Guitar Hero. That stuff is all going to be included in this. So, like, any IP that Activision Blizzard currently owns is going to go on is going to be in Microsoft's back pocket. So, of course, they announced this a couple days ago, but ever since they announced it, everyone's been speculating and everyone's been saying, "Oh my God, Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to Xbox now. PlayStation is done for." And I don't think that's quite the case. When they bought ZeniMax, there was a couple games that did go, a couple like future games that haven't been released yet that were moved to Xbox only exclusives. I don't know if they're timed exclusives or whatever, but I don't foresee them kind of cutting off PlayStation fans. I mean, that's like a whole side of the market that, you know, that they would lose out on, like as far as game sales go. So I don't think they would do that. I mean, you don't buy a 70,000. They're 70 billion. They spent 70 billion on Activision Blizzard. I don't think you do that to cut your, you know, your sales off. But I mean, as far as timed exclusives go, I would see that happening. Uh-oh. Is that the baby? I don't know. So what do you think as far as Activision gobbling up all these game studios and say, "Hey, come build games on our platform." Any input? Activision Blizzard.
Wait, what? You said Microsoft.
Microsoft is purchasing that publisher.
Right.
So games like WoW and things like that, they're going to become properties of Microsoft.
Right.
So I don't think, you know, I don't foresee WoW coming to Xbox, but
that'd be hard to do.
Yeah. But I mean, for like Game Pass for PC, I mean, you still have a subscription, I would assume, but would that subscription be part of Game Pass?
I don't
But
know.
anyway, so there's more to come. Diablo would be in there. Candy Crush is now going to be on Microsoft. StarCraft, and then Overwatch. Those are the ones I forgot about. But the one thing that did kind of spark my interest is Phil Spencer, the like CEO of Microsoft Game Division or whatever. He basically stated that he's looking at the franchises that haven't been released recently. So like he mentioned Hexen, which are you familiar with that? So Hexen was a game like back when Doom was out. I guess it's kind of like a kill demons and devils and, you know, witchcraft and things. There's a first person shooter. But that's the one like thing that kind of stuck out. He mentioned not Garage Band, Guitar Hero. It's like, okay, we haven't had a Guitar Hero in a while. Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, it's always good when I think it's in good faith. The one thing that is interesting is you see them going in and saying, "Hey, we're purchasing this to increase, you know, the games and the player, you know, the player experience, stuff like that." And they immediately says, "I want to look at franchises that haven't been released recently that are on ice." It's like, all right, more games. Like that's what I like, and you know, giving more, you know, more opportunity to, you know, to use like the Microsoft checkbook to, you know, put behind these games and stuff like that. So. Oh, Christy says, yeah, Diablo is on Xbox. Well, right. But they will now, you know, essentially own Diablo, which is interesting. So, anyway. So, yeah. So, what else? I think that's all. I think that's it. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
Sorry, I don't have much. Yay.
What's that? Oh, you want to play that?
At some point.
At some point.
It's about bedtime.
So, all right, guys. Well, what's happening this week coming up? So yesterday we released the second episode of Cats in the Cradle. So definitely go check that out. We've got, let's see here, Learn to Play Boss Monster is coming out tomorrow. That's exciting.
Oh.
It's on the shelf. So that will be coming out tomorrow. And then, yeah, we will see you guys back next week for episode 242. Let's see here. Anything else? I think that's it. So, thanks for watching. It's episode 241 in the books. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I wasn't super here today, but that's okay.
Well, there really wasn't a lot of news. So, that's okay. We'll be back next week. New Joe's Game Pass game of the week, and then some other. Maybe we'll play one of our unlocked. I know you want to play the Wizard of Oz unlock, so maybe we'll play that sometime in the next 7 days. Maybe not. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel, hit like on the video, and then also we've got our Patreon set up as well, so you can go over to patreon.com/72DPI and then get subscribed there. If you get any type of enjoyment or have some fun with us and you want to throw us back a couple bucks, that's a good way to do it. With that, we do appreciate you guys hanging out, and have a great night.
Bye.